Today we're exploring the mighty Mekong River Cruise experience through Cambodia and Vietnam. Hi everyone, Bonnie Lee here with Bonnie Lee Travels. Thanks for stopping in. Today we're exploring the mighty Mekong River Cruise experience through Cambodia and Vietnam. These in very quiet, quaint villages along the way. Okay, so the flights are long to get there, and the packages themselves, well, they're not inexpensive. So my guess is you maybe have found yourself wondering or asking the question, is a Mekong River Cruise really worth it? Well, come along. Let's dive in and find out. I recently sailed the Mekong River with friends and family, drawing from my own personal experience and then the experiences of the other guests on the ship. I've identified 5 crucial factors that can make or break your Mekong River adventure. Yep, your Mekong River adventure. Whether, hey, you might be a history buff. Maybe you're a foodie. I don't know. Or maybe you are just someone who is looking for an unforgettable experience, for memories that will last you a lifetime. These insights that I'm going to share with you will help you decide if that Mekong River Cruise is right for you. So let's get going. First up, let's talk about the river. Let's talk about the Mekong. What makes the Mekong so special? She isn't just a river. She is a river that flows 2,700 miles. She starts at the roof of the world. The roof of the world, to many, is also known as the Tibetan Plateau. She starts way up there, and she travels through 7 countries, Cambodia and Vietnam being 2 of the countries she flows through, until she ends all the way down at the South China Sea. She makes quite a trip as she's traveling through these countries. Imagine when you are sailing on the Mekong River, you are truly sailing through history. Imagine cruising through a living museum of Southeast Asia. One moment you're passing bustling cities, the next you're witnessing age-old traditions in quiet villages. Fun fact, the Mekong is one of the most biodiverse rivers in the world, second only to the Amazon in South America. Okay, so from our ship, what were we able to see? From the deck of the ship, I was able to witness and see floating family fisheries. These are families that have lived on the water their entire lives. We saw ancient temples that kind of, well, they seem to almost rise out of the shore of the Mekong as we were passing by. Amazing. We saw endless fields of those beautiful lotus flowers. And did you know that the lotus flower in Buddhism is a symbol of purity? We also saw rice farmers at work. Did you know that Vietnam is the world's 2nd largest exporter of rice? It is. We saw traditional farming with water buffalo, farming today the exact same way their families farmed centuries ago. The Mekong is where the past and the present flow together. And as they flow together, they merge time and culture. Now, let's talk ship size. When you're sailing the Mekong, ship size truly matters. You're going to recognize names that I'm going to talk about as far as some of the different lines that sail the Mekong. Let's talk about Avalon, Scenic, Viking. All of those lines also sail in Europe. The European counterpart ships to the ones that are sailing the Mekong are totally different. They are much smaller in size than ships sailing the European rivers. For example, the Avalon Saigon that I sailed on only had 18 cabins. That's 36 passengers. The Avalon Saigon is one of the smallest ships sailing on the Mekong. One of the larger ships sailing on the Mekong, that happens to be the AmaDara. She's one of the larger ships that are sailing on the Mekong. She can accommodate 124 passengers, or what is that, 62 cabins. You can see the difference in size between the Avalon Saigon and the AmaDara. And there's ships of all sizes that fall in between there. The smaller ships, they're going to be a little bit more intimate. But when they're smaller, of course, you're going to have less amenities. The larger ships probably have more amenities, and you might lose a little bit of the intimacy that you would find on a smaller ship. When choosing your ship, you're going to make sure to consider several items, and I'm going to go through them. And the first thing that you're going to consider are the dining options. Do they have more than one dining room? Do they offer room service? Do they have buffet? Is it a la carte? If those things matter to you, those are things you're really going to want to check out. Do they include wellness facilities like a pool, a spa, workout areas? Are they accessible? If the ship has more than one deck, which almost all of them do, let's face that, do you need an elevator? All right, and entertainment. Do they have a big theater, or do they use the lounge area when they bring on local talent for entertainment in the evenings? How about the cabin type? That's important. Inside, outside, balcony. Those are important things that you will want to make sure you take the time to look at. Remember, your Mekong River cruise ship is your hotel room. Choose it like you would a hotel room. You want it to match your travel style. It is, after all about you. Number 3, let's talk about year-round adventure on the Mekong. Unlike many river cruises in Europe, when you're looking at sailing on the Mekong, cruise lines sailing the Mekong travel all year round, which means you have the entire year to pick from to have it fit into your life schedule. So that is awesome. And with that, each season is going to bring something magical. So something to look at and consider is the season as well. So let's talk about that. The dry season, hey, that's probably November, April-ish. When it's dry and you're sailing the Mekong, it's going to be less rain and less humidity. Not a bad deal. You're going to find your shore excursions may be easier to get off and on, but possibly dusty air and a brownish type landscape. All right, so we've already looked at the dry season. Let's look at the rainy season. What comes with rain? Lush, beautiful greenery. That's what you're going to find during the wet season. And the wet season is typically May through October. So May through October, you're going to find that lush green landscape and scenery. The temperatures are going to be a bit cooler. The humidity won't be as great. And some of your shore excursions, well, they might be affected by high water because of the rain. All right, now here, I have a pro tip for you as well. When you want to sail, and because you do have the entire year to pick from, hey, look at some national and local festivals. Try to book yourself in so that you can take part in them. As an example, how about the Lunar New Year? The Lunar New Year lasts 7 days. It's typically January, February-ish. So with that 7-day celebration, you have a really nice window to be able to choose your cruise from. What about the Water Festival? Oh, the Water Festival in Asia is fabulous as well. The Water Festival, it's going to include boat races and lanterns. Not a bad deal, right? Now let's just say those festivals don't work for you. Hey, think about one more thing. Here's a tip. The full moon. The full moon happens 12 times a year and looks really, really nice for a nice window of maybe 4 days, 2 days on either side of it. So think about sailing as well when the moon is full. I can tell you, we did that, and we did the Lunar New Year. So not only were we able to take advantage of all the magical fireworks that happened from the Lunar New Year, but we also had the full moon shining down on the Mekong River. What an amazing sight that was for all of us. There is nothing like the full moon reflecting on the waters of the Mekong as you're sailing along. Number 4, this is beyond the river. We're going to talk about things that are beyond the river. We're going to talk about a pre and a post stay when you are planning your trip. Consider a pre and a post when you're looking at a Mekong River cruise. Let's talk about that, okay? Here's a crucial tip. Your Mekong River cruise should not stop and start on the river. I'm going to repeat that. That's how important this is. It should not stop and start on or with the river. Why not? Why not add on a pre and a post to your Mekong River cruise? Hey, you are flying halfway around the world to get there. Make the most of your time and take advantage of everything that you possibly can. What are some extensions that I want you to think about? How about Siem Reap? Siem Reap, Cambodia, it's the home of Angkor Wat, which is the world's largest religious monument. It is amazing. And what about Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia? That city is bustling. It is all about the new, sits right next to the old, a perfect add-on. And hey, what about Ho Chi Minh City, also known as Saigon to many people? What about that city? It's a thriving metropolis full of history. Add a pre and a post on if you can find the time and if it works within your budget. Number 5, budgeting for your dream cruise. Let's talk money. The Mekong River Cruise is an experience. It is an investment in an experience for you, but it is important to budget wisely. So how do you start to pull that budget together? What are things that you can count on, that you can check the box? How much money is this going to cost? Let's talk about some of the things so that you can begin to work a budget if a Mekong River cruise is in your future. The typical cost to consider are the cruise itself. Now, a 7-night cruise, that's going to run you $2,500 to $5,000 per person. And that depends on the level of luxury that you choose. International flights, they're gonna run you probably between $800 and $1,500 in coach. That again is per person. Your pre and your post, which we did just talk about, you wanna make sure you put that on there. But how much is that pre and post going to cost? Typically, it's between $100 and $300 per person per day. That's the cost for your pre or your post. Visas probably going to cost between $30 and $50 per country. Yes, you do need visas when you're traveling to Vietnam and Cambodia, but don't let that stress you out. Whether you're working directly with Avalon or if you have chosen to book through a travel professional, one way or the other, you will be given direction on how to get the visas. You're probably saying to yourself, aren't most gratuities included? Yeah. Typically, most of them are. But if they are included, I still like to bring some extra cash, probably $15 more a day, so that I have some money just to tip with. In case someone does exceptional and I want to tip them, I have the opportunity and it is built into my budget, because a budget is only good as what you're actually putting into it, correct? So here's my pro tip as well. When you are planning your budget, things that might get overlooked that you don't want not to be in the budget. Your transfers. Are your transfers included from the airport to the ship or to the hotel? And likewise, going home. Are those transfers included from the hotel to the airport or from the ship to the airport? So do check out transfers. Make sure they are included, and if not, just budget out for them. In-country flights. If, for instance, you are doing a pre-cruise and then you're going to join up with your ship, if there is a flight that's required to get you from the pre to the actual cruise, is that included? If it is, no worries, but do make sure that all those inter-country flights are going to be included that are within the confines of your trip itself. And most meals and excursions. Yeah, you know, most meals and excursions are included, but when you're looking at a tour, it's going to tell you what meals are included. So if they're not included, make sure that you budget at least something so that you have a comfortable area. And again, you're not stretching yourself outside of that budget. Here's a great way to check out your budget and maybe bring her down a little bit. Consider traveling in shoulder season. Great way to save a little extra money if it works within your travel schedule. Remember, while budget is important, so is the experience. So as you are looking at your budget, if you're outside of your budget, hey, maybe take a little bit of extra time to save so that you're not compromising the experience. It will be worth it, I guarantee. Number 6. Number 6, there isn't even a number 6. There's only supposed to be 5, right? But nope, today there's 6. And number 6 is follow your heart. This is a bonus just for you. So the most important factor is your personal why. When we chose the Avalon Saigon for our family, it wasn't about the amenities. It was about the feeling, the old world colonial charm, the windows in the suite that totally opened up right to left and top to bottom. It was about the rich teakwood throughout the entire ship. It echoed the region's history and natural beauty that I loved. Your perfect cruise is going to be the cruise that makes your heart sing. Maybe it's luxury, maybe it's not. Because remember, it is all about you. There is a Mekong River Cruise for every travel style. I can guarantee it. Trust your instincts and do your homework. That will help you choose what I call the perfect trip. Not a good trip. The perfect trip for, guess who? You. All right, so you heard them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the bonus 6. Is a Mekong River Cruise right for you? Drop a comment below. Tell me, yes, this river cruise is right for me. Or maybe, still on the fence, I'll let you know. Or been there, done that. And then in that case, share a couple of tips with us. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Hey, we could go on more adventures together if you do that. See you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.